Hey everyone, welcome back. This is part 5 of our series, Step by Step, How to Sell Your Lesson Plans and Other Teaching Materials Online Using ClickFunnels. Again, today is part 5, so if you haven't checked out the other parts of the series, go ahead and check those out on the channel first and then come back and meet me here. Today we're going over those last few tech pieces of our funnel, including setting up a custom domain, your favicon, and your SMTP integration. Hey, welcome back to Sell Your Lessons, the place to learn how to sell your lessons and other teaching materials on your terms. I'm Jessie, your digital marketing and tech coach, and today we are 5 lessons and steps deep into this series about selling our lesson plans online using ClickFunnels. So today is a very technical day. In fact, if you are not very tech inclined, you may become easily overwhelmed. Don't worry, you do not by any means have to sit down and do all of these today. My recommendation, if you are not that tech savvy, is to do it piece by piece. So watch part 1 about your custom domain integration, take a break, come back a day or two later, and then continue with your SMTP hookup. Don't feel like you have to do it all right this second. I don't want you to get overwhelmed. But if you do, or you have questions along the way, don't forget to drop your comments below and I will get back to you because I want you to be super successful as you go through this series. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's go ahead and get a custom domain on our funnel. So the reason we would do this is so that I don't have to give out viamedia.clickfunnels.com/ whatever I want. We're going to fix the ending paths as well. This, in my opinion, can look a little tacky. We would rather have it say something like sellyourlessons.com/order or go.sellyourlessons.com. Or in our case today, I'm going to show you how to do shop.sellyourlessons.com. And this is because I actually have my domain, sellyourlessons.com, on a WordPress site outside of ClickFunnels. So I can't use just www, but I can set up what's called a subdomain and have a little word dot in front of it. So today I'm going to show you how to set that up. Either way, I'll show you how to set that up. Now there are a variety of places that you can purchase domains. Everywhere from if you are hosting somewhere, a WordPress website or another type of website, you can oftentimes purchase domains directly through them. I love Namecheap. I love Namecheap because they make things really easy and they oftentimes have coupons every month. So I really love just coming back to Namecheap over and over again. And once you get started, it's really nice to keep all of them in the same place. So I only purchase domains from Namecheap. You can go ahead and grab the link in the description below, but let's go ahead and get started. So if you want to just search a domain, you can search right here. But since I already have one, and just so you know, these will run anywhere from about $10 to $20 a year. And this is kind of like your address to your online storefront, right? So this is the address of your online real estate. So it's very important because this is where people are going to find you. All right, so once you've figured out what you want your domain to be and you've purchased it, I'm going to jump into my account. I can see it right here in my account. I have Sell Your Lessons, but I'm going to go back to ClickFunnels and kind of figure out what to do. We're going to go up to your account and down to account settings, and then all the way down to domains, and it's going to pull up this screen here. And we want to add a new domain to our account. Now, as you can see, you can purchase domains and register them right here inside your ClickFunnels account, but I already explained that I had domains in Namecheap and I really love keeping everything all together and I love the Namecheap experience, so that's why I am going to add my domain from an outside source. So I'm going to use an existing domain. Okay, now as you can see, they throw www right here, so if you have never used your domain anywhere else, you can certainly do that here. Another option that I've seen a lot of people do is instead of, like me for example, if I have sellyourlessons.com for my main WordPress website, I could use sellyourlessons.co here in my ClickFunnels account. I've seen many people do that. But in this case, I'm going to set up a subdomain, which means that instead of www, I'm going to set up shop.sellyourlessons.com. shop.sellyourlessons.com. But this would work just the same way if you said www. All right, so next it says we need to connect our domain with our ClickFunnels account. So we're going to add a CNAME record and send it to target.clickfunnels.com, which this is not as hard as it sounds. Okay, we're going to go back into wherever you registered your domain. In my case, it's Namecheap, and I'm going to manage my domain. Okay, normally I would go to my domain and hit manage, but since I actually am already managing the base, the root domain over on a hosting platform, I'm over on SiteGround, then I have to go to SiteGround to adjust anything about this domain. So let me show you an example of one that I have here inside Namecheap. So jessievalle.co, for example, if I go over to manage, and then I'm going to come over here to advanced DNS, and then a screen like this is going to pop up. I'm going to go down here to add new record, and I would make it a CNAME record. And just like what ClickFunnels tells us up here, we want to add a CNAME record that points to target.clickfunnels.com. So because this is where you would put www, or in my case it would be shop, and the target is target.clickfunnels.com, and then I would click the check. Now I already have something right here. I have the www version for this domain, and then the last step that I would need to do right here would be to go back to my domain and add a little forwarding rule that says if someone ever does just plain jessievalle.co, it would go to the www version, just because I want people to be able to type with or without the www and go to the same place. In this case, when I'm showing you here how to use shop or a different subdomain like go or anything else, you don't have to do this last step. Okay, and then I'm going to go over, since I said I have my Sell Your Lessons domain in SiteGround, I went ahead and logged into my cPanel, and then I'm going to click Advanced DNS Zone Editor. And here's where I can select sellyourlessons.com, and here it lets me adjust things right here. So I would say I want shop. Well, let me change this to CNAME first. There we go. The shop.sellyourlessons.com. I just typed in shop. It added the rest. And then the CNAME is going to go to target.clickfunnels.com. And the TTL, I kind of usually just grab something that I've seen on another one. So in this case, this seems to be what they all are. So I'm just going to plop that in there and add record. All right, it successfully added the record. So now I can kind of scroll down here and see. So here's the www version, which I was already using somewhere else. But now we have shop.sellyourlessons.com. Excellent. Now when I come back to ClickFunnels, I say I've done this step. It says congrats. Now I can go ahead and associate this with a funnel right now, but I'd rather just go back to my domains. All right, now we're not quite done yet, because as you can see, this is unsecured while the rest of them are. So I'm going to go ahead and click into it and go down to the SSL. This is how I secure the domain, which is super important, because if someone is going to be exchanging any money with you, or oftentimes things like memberships and passwords, you need to be sure to have SSL to be secure. And side note, as of about a year ago, Google is showing preference to sites that are secure. Mostly just because it's so simple to get them secured these days, it kind of seems silly not to be secured. So Google will always show favor to those that are secured. Okay, the last thing I want to show you here, it does say up here that it could take up to 10 to 15 minutes, and it does actually take a few minutes. So while we're waiting for the SSL to kind of get secured, I want to show you the default page and the 404 error page. These are important because what happens if someone doesn't put the ending? What if they just say shop.sellyourlessons.com? Where's it going to take them? That's what the default page is. And what if they do something like shop.sellyourlessons.com/gobbledygook? That's where it goes to the 404 error page. I like to send these to the same place, whether it's an offer or a home page or something like that. But some people like to have a special 404 error page. It's totally up to you. But for ease sake, I'll send them to the same place. Now, I'm going to go ahead and expand this, and I'm going to select, all right, we're in the series, and this is the name of my funnel, and then this is the step. So I'm going to send people to the order page. Okay, when we're ready to see if our SSL is done, I just expand this and say check now. And it'll tell me up here in the corner, yay, it's ready, excellent, it's now secure. So if I go back to my domains list, it's going to show the lock because I am secure. Now let's get that hooked up to our funnel. So here I am in the funnel, and as you can see, it still has the old domain, but I'm going to go up to settings, and the blue bar is the settings for the whole funnel. And here's the domain. I can click, and now shop.sellyourlessons.com is available. So I'll go ahead and select that. As a side note, if you have a favicon, or if you want to place your tracking code for something like your Facebook pixel, these are the places where you would go ahead and add that. Your Facebook pixel, for example, placing it here will then place the pixel on every step of your funnel, which will be important for running ads in the future. I just wanted to let you know where to find that. And then your favicon URL, a favicon is the little image that you see up here in the tab. So you probably don't want to leave it on the ClickFunnels one, you probably want something branded. And I'll show you how to pop that in there in a little bit. And it has to be a PNG or ICO file. So we'll come back to that. Okay, and your Stripe account, you went ahead and connected last week, so you want to make sure that you select the right one if you have multiple. All right, save and update. Okay, so now you can see it's HTTPS. That S is that security I was talking about. And then the shop.sellyourlessons.com is now our domain. Excellent. But I don't like this ending. This is not easy to tell anyone, right? Now, I did set it up so just plain shop.sellyourlessons.com comes to this page, but what happens when I have many, many offers, right? So let's take a look at this. I'm just going to preview the page. So as we know, this is called the body parts bell work, right? Okay, so I might say something like shop.sellyourlessons.com/body parts bell work. So I can go ahead and click the gear here and adjust it. Update. Okay, now that shows this here. But the problem is that if I actually go to this URL, it shows me this funny ending. That's not what we just put in. Well, the reason is because back here in ClickFunnels, you can see this split test. Now, if I were to run a split test, which is having a different version of the same page to see which one is performing better, like maybe I want to split test different button colors or different headlines or different offers even, I would need a split test page, right? Well, then I would send people to this link, and then ClickFunnels would say randomly send people here or send people here. But these two pages cannot have the same actual place where they live, right? So that's why there's a second gear down here, and this is the path. Now, if you're only going to change one place, I suggest you change down here, because this, next to the edit page button, this is what people actually see. So this is where I would put body parts bell work. Now, you can't have two that are exactly the same. If I hit update page here and I go back, it's going to show me a whole bunch of letters and numbers on the end. And that's no good. I don't want that. So I'm just going to make a variation, which means I'm going to take out the dashes, for example. This is what I like to do. I like to have one with the dashes and one without the dashes. And in that case, I can tell somebody either one. They could type it in either way and it's going to work. So there again, we saw the one with the dashes redirected to the one without the dashes. So now I would go and do that for all of my pages, right? If I'm only going to change one, it would be this one down here. And so I could say something like whatever my, one-time offer was, I could put that here. And then here at the end, I might say something like, confirmed, thank you, order confirmation, something like that. Okay? So that's kind of how we set the domain. The next thing I promised to show you was the favicon. So if I go into edit any page, I want to take a look. I'm just going to duplicate this image, and I want, basically where I'm trying to go is this image library. Okay, and this is where I can upload any sort of favicon, or like this. It needs to be a PNG image or an ICO, which isn't as common, but PNGs are very common. PNG file types allow you to have a transparent background, which is what this is right here. So I'm going to, if you don't have it yet, upload it, and then you can go ahead and select it. And this is what I want right here. I want this link. So I'm just going to Control or Command A to select all of it, and then Command or Control C to copy. Now I don't actually need this image on the page, so I'm just going to delete that and leave. And I'm not going to save because I didn't do anything to this page, but I have my link now. I can go back to my settings and paste that right in there in the favicon space and save and update. Okay, so you might wait a few minutes to make sure that it updates, but then you can go ahead and take a look, and you see now the image we added is here in the little tabby up top, not the ClickFunnels logo. Okay, the last thing I want to show you today is your SMTP. Now, don't be scared. All this means is that when you send an email, let's say when someone purchases your product, instead of it coming from something or someone they don't know, like support or services, you can be specific so that it's coming from you and people don't think that their confirmation emails are actually spam. So again, we're going to go up to our settings over here and account settings, and then we're going to come down to this email integrations SMTP. Now let me just stop right here for a moment and say that this is definitely advanced and it's not always necessary. I will say that it is very nice to have emails come from you and not from something like support or something that looks spammy, but this is definitely next level stuff. So if you are a little teched out, like you've hit your max for the day just getting your domain connected with ClickFunnels, then you might go ahead and pause this video, wait a day or two, and then come back to complete these email configurations. I don't want you to get too overwhelmed too quickly. And if you are super overwhelmed or something about this doesn't quite make sense, be sure to drop a comment below, let me know, and I would be happy to explain things further or in a more clear manner if you're confused in any way. But let's go ahead and continue. All right, so then we're going to add a new email integration, and this is going to be transactional only. Now, if you are using ClickFunnels for your marketing up here in your follow-up funnels, if you have the full ClickFunnels Platinum Suite, you can do that. If you just are on the basic ClickFunnels plan, then you're going to be able to only do the transactional only. All right, so here this would be, all right, this title is just for you, right? Okay, so the from name would be maybe, Jessie at Sell Your Lessons, or it could just be Jessie Valle or whoever you wanted it to be from. The from email is going to be maybe hello or support at shop.sellyourlessons.com. Now, a word of caution. This email address needs to actually exist in order for you to receive emails if people email back to you. So I highly suggest you choose something that you've already set up an email account for with your domain. Now, since you've just purchased a domain, oftentimes your domain will have a place where you can set up email. This might totally be a topic for another day, but Namecheap, for example, lets me set up email addresses. When I have my domains inside hosting like SiteGround, I'm able to set up email addresses there. So for the most part, you can set up an email address directly where you purchased or are hosting your root domain. So for this, for example, is just that, an example, because you would want to set up your actual email address somewhere else first so it's real. Okay, the domain is going to be shop. Now this, for your address, it is required by law that you show an address for all of your emails, so you would want to fill this out faithfully, right? So if you have a business address or your home address, either one. I wonder if it's going to let me do a fake address. We'll see, because this is just an example. Now, as you can see, it's very hard to see here. It's very light, but it says that this is the footer added to all outgoing emails. So it needs to include a physical address to meet all the requirements, and the unsubscribe button should be here as well. Now, one thing that's nice is ClickFunnels actually has documentation that can show you exactly what to put. Let me find that really quick. Okay, so all I did was search in the ClickFunnels help documents SMTP transactional, and it came up with this, which is perfect because this is exactly what I wanted. I'm just going to copy this code here and go back and paste that in here. So the company name here, Sell Your Lessons, and this is where you would put your information for, say, your address. If you wanted to add a phone number, basically anything you wanted to put here in text. And then it does the unsubscribe for me. Okay, and then if I wanted it to be the default, I could put that, but then I'm going to hit save. Okay, so it's finishing the mail setup right now. Okay, the next step. Now we need to connect this SMTP email integration with our domain. So I'm going to go ahead and follow these instructions to go ahead and add the records to our DNS. So in this case, this is a text one. So again, you would be going back to Namecheap or SiteGround or wherever we update our records when we added our domain to our ClickFunnels account. And you can add these text and CNAME links. And then when that's done, we can go ahead and click validate. So then you'll be able to, anytime you send emails, say from your products, it'll say it's coming from you and not just support or something like that. So when you are in here on the fulfillment emails, you can go ahead and send a fulfillment email, and it's going to look like it's coming from you and not just someone like support, which doesn't make any sense and kind of looks like spam. So this is why you would go ahead and set up your SMTP so that it looks like it's coming from you. And there we have setting up our custom domain, favicon, and SMTP integrations. I know, it's been a lot of tech, so take a deep breath, pat yourself on the back. You guys have done excellent work. If you have questions along the way, don't forget, drop your comments below and I will be sure to answer every single question that comes in. And in the meantime, while you wait for next week, go ahead, check out the other videos on the channel, subscribe so you don't miss anything new that comes up every week, and I will see you there. Bye.